welcome back. Sorry, it's been a little bit, but I've actually been pretty busy working on my dissertation and getting some of my own notes into my Zettelkasten. So I apologize for the delay in getting back to this video. In today's video, we're going to move from our skydiving perspective of getting the lay of the land to zooming in a little bit closer. So just as a refresher, we started talking about the bib card and how the first thing I do when I look at a research article is to get a sense of who the authors are and get my references. The second thing is to look at the abstract and create a short description of what I believe that the research is going to be discussing. And all of this is part of doing the priming of my mind so that I can remember as much as possible as I read through the research. The skydiving lay of the land was to create the overview of topics that I could assume that the research was going to be discussing based on things like headings, subheadings, and different keywords that struck out as being important for me. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the key takeaways. Now keep in mind, I have not read the research word for word yet. This is going to be my first, I guess, speed reading pass through in that I am looking for things that I know I'm going to want to drill in deeper in the next step. So with that, I'm going to take you to my desktop and we're going to review a highlighted research article from Zhang where I've used blue to indicate all of the things that caught my attention that I'm going to want to reference, including page numbers and key takeaways. So as we look at this article, you can see we're still back on the ethical leadership and multinational companies control. I've highlighted the page number because here I see, oh, they're talking about control between parent firms and their subsidiaries. I highlighted the page here because they're defining ethical leadership, and I think that's going to be an important key takeaway. I've highlighted page 2185 because here's where Eisenweiss's ethical leadership orientation theories been referenced along with something that they're calling the 4 normative peculiarities of ethical leadership. Scrolling through, again, I highlighted page 2186 because they're talking about control, not in and of itself, but as formal control and informal control. Highlighted page number 2187 because this is where a definition of ethical leadership can be found. It expands more on that concept of peculiarity of ethical leadership and actually starts identifying the 4 that were earlier referenced, such as humane orientation, justice orientation, responsibility and sustainability, and then again on the next page, the moderation orientation, along with a discussion about the ethical leadership across cultures. And now you can see I've stopped highlighting the page number because I didn't find anything that I really wanted to dig in deeper with regards to methodology, data collection, their charts, their analysis and approaches, some more charts and data, the discussions of the different cases. None of this provided any key takeaways that were relevant to what I am interested in writing about or that I am studying for my dissertation. And it's okay. This is where speed reading is beneficial because now when I do come back and I start focusing on the key takeaways, you'll see how I then drill down and will read word for word, but only those sections that I'm interested in. And so there's a lot of pages here that I can just speed read right through, meaning I am just glancing at high-level sections, not really taking it in word for word. And now that I'm to the references, I know that I'm at the end of the research paper. And so that's where I've identified the key takeaways. So let's take a look at how I noted them on the actual bibliography card. And just to remind you, now that we're into my Zettelkasten, that we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on our bibliography box because I want to open it and I'm trying to replicate the analog process as much as possible. and I'm going to go to my Z tab, and I'm going to pull up Zang. For easy reference for you, I'm going to hit Control and the letter E key so that it takes away some of that programming. And if you scroll down here, I want you to ignore all of those links because we will talk about that in the next video. But I want you to see page 2183, Control between MNCs and subsidiaries. 2184, Ethical Leadership Characteristics. 2185, Normative Peculiarities of Ethical Leadership. So after I've gone through and highlighted the key takeaways or the information that I want to personally learn more about, I will come into my bibliography card and I will type in the page number and a short description. Page number, short description, until I have them all down. And you can see down here, there's several that were on page 2187. That's where that definition of ethical leadership was found, the peculiarities of ethical leadership, and then the 4 that they drilled down into more detail. And that's basically all you do at this step. So I hope you can see that you don't have to read your research articles, or for that matter, even a book, 100% word for word. Now, I did read a book called How to Speed Read. I think it's something like How to Speed Read 200 pages in an hour or something like that. And it actually did provide a lot of insight on how to speed read. It's not really something that I can show you on a computer per se and make it understandable. So I do highly recommend that you read that book because I think it will help you understand the way of moving through text and block sections. In our next video, I'm going to show you the next level, like how did I determine now what I'm actually going to read based on the key takeaways that I have already identified and noted on my bib card. So I hope you come back for that. Thanks. See you next time.